Hold on. Let me take a sip. I feel like how many times have we opened up the episode this year? Like, sorry.
I already had plans. Like I actually had a dream about it. I was just gonna be like, hi, whatever. You know us now. So boyfriend, not boyfriend is currently boyfriend.
This is what happens when I leave for a month. Yeah, like I said, he did it to himself. He just started calling himself like that. And I was like, okay. And then we moved on.
I love this.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. We've missed you. Happy coffee day.
Happy coffee day.
I have a new little mug. A shout out to our friends over at Bella Luxury Transportation. He actually has a really, really nice vehicle and probably the smoothest ride ever when you are going away on vacation.
I was such to be like, does he do trips to the airport? Because one thing I would love to take back in terms of Puerto Rico.
It's awesome.
It's like how much freaking money it costs to park your car. And then I worry about the car the whole time in the parking garage. And I'm like, if I can get a ride to the airport for less than $250 and back, which I know is crazy, but if I could do it, it would be worth it.
It's about the same price, but I love the fact that he's got the snacks. I can take a nap. I don't have to worry about.
Well, forget it. I'll pay $300 for that.
It's literally luxury.
If I'm spending $280 to park the car in the garage for a week, I'd rather spend $300 and not worry about the car at all.
Yep, exactly.
And snacks and nap along the way sound great.
And you're well rested.
What happens though if you get in at like midnight? Because that was our problem.
Yep, gets you.
What happens if your flight leaves at 6 a.m.?
Doesn't matter. He'll do it.
Okay, we're gonna take his number down.
Yeah, he's got like 6 other people in his fleet, and all of their vehicles are pristine. Like you feel.
I don't even need that nice of a car.
Oh no, you feel presidential. Like it's very nice.
Okay. Where is he coming from?
We like the luxury.
Cape Cod company.
It is not a Cape Cod company, but he has a place here on the Cape when he visits.
Okay,
so he's a summer person. But
listen, they call themselves Cape Cod people anyway.
I know.
And if you've got a good company, then we like you.
Where he flops basically to set up to plan to get people to where they need to be is where he ends up.
Oh, perfect.
So,
okay.
I'd like to be living in that luxury where I just have a house wherever I am to just stop there and be like, we're in this area. We'll just stay at this house.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can. I want that. These are the things I'm aspiring to have someday. We're in Portugal. We'll stay at our house.
Yeah, there are a few places that I would love that. Boston, obviously. Paris. Like I would love an apartment in Paris. I think it would be such an easy jumping off point. Like, oh, I'm just going to go to Paris I'm just going to go to that.
I'm going to go to my flat. I'll be back
for a couple of weeks. And then you can just like do your, like, it's like a little bit of a central point.
See, I'd rather have a flat in London and croissants
but it's a pain.
in Paris.
It's a pain though.
Yeah, that's true.
And so not surprisingly to anybody, Charles de Gaulle was rated like #1 worst airport in Europe, and then Heathrow #2. We knew this.
Yeah.
None of this is new information. But I will say I would rather take Charles de Gaulle in Paris because then you have the trains right there. You can go to the rest of Europe as opposed to at Heathrow. You're kind of stuck. You have to get to the mainland.
Oh, you got to take
transfer.
the tube. I did not suggest that tube to anybody, no matter what day, time, year. It's awful. It's overwhelming.
It's a lot.
And you are cattle.
I find
the tube.
And I find, too, the interesting thing, it was easier for me to navigate Paris by myself than it is for me to navigate New York City. Like, subways. I was like, all of this is in French and I know where I am. And New York scares the shit out of me.
I don't have a Me Too just because my brother is there and it's like taking the sting out of figuring out how things work. Well, I feel like once you figure out the hang of it, then you're fine.
I think maybe I'm just more afraid of New York than I am of Paris.
I don't know why.
Have you seen the... You act like that's not justified. Have you seen the viral stuff going around? Women asking their partners, men, fathers, brothers, whatever, if they would rather that the asker, be stuck in the woods with a bear with a man.
No,
it's fascinating to me. Just this trend going around. I don't know, TikTok, Reels, whatever. And women are asking, as I said, they're asking their partners, would you rather I be stuck in the woods with a man or with a bear? And then you give them no more information.
I like that.
And you ask them to
Did you
respond.
ask now boyfriend?
We need to come up with a new name for him, but you can't just call him boyfriend. But yes, I did.
Okay.
Well, first of all, 100% of the time, the other person always picks the bear.
Why?
Because
he'd rather you get eaten than possibly share you or lose you.
Well,
It's kind of bullshit.
So obviously there's like a bigger conversation here of like why are we more afraid of fellow humans
How
than we
long are you
afraid-
going to be stuck in the woods with these people
You
for?
don't have any of these other questions.
Right?
This is the point.
No qualifiers.
Yes, but what? Sure, boyfriend, whatever. Responded back and was like, I pick the bear all day because none of these situations are good for me. Either something happens with this strange man and I don't know, or what if the man rescues you and you swoon and you run off with him? I was like, oh, I didn't think of that.
So rather I should just die. We've lost her to the bear, dick.
I guess he would rather me die than run off with another man. But I
isn't
think that's good for our relationship.
I do not know about that. And here we are. Boyfriend, not boyfriend, is now boyfriend and doesn't want you to be with anybody else. It's a good thing.
Well, I
I'm
think
excited
that
for you.
is, in fact, the definition of a boyfriend.
That's it.
Doesn't necessarily want the girl to date anybody else.
Look at Tori.
Don't be weird about
It only
it.
took 5 seasons.
Listen, guys, we can't startle him. Okay, we've talked about this.
Don't look him in the eye.
We can't.
Don't take crying selfies with him and then disappear off to Hawaii.
Yeah.
What in the Justin Bieber is happening right now? Can we just jump into what's roasting?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know.
it's going to be
I'm sorry.
mostly a
I
Taylor
actually-
Swift episode.
I was
You
a-
planned nothing else.
I was about to say, I actually don't know what's going on in the real world because the only thing I know is the 31 songs of the Torture Poets Department. So that is where my brain is. If you would like to update me on what else is going on in the world, I would love to hear.
Well, really, there's only like three big stories that
Something
are
about
going
Britney
on right
Spears.
now. Britney Spears is officially divorced from
looked-
Sam.
I know we're not supposed to talk about her anymore, but she's like pregnant in those photos.
I don't even know
But
what's
then
going
she
on.
came out and was like, I'm on my period. And I was like, well, we didn't need to know that, but it is a very Britney Spears thing to say. And she's moving to Boston.
Yeah, now it's like Brittany Hingham.
Which I think she'll.
Like, where is Brittany going to be?
Duxbury for sure.
Like, you think Deluxeberry for Brittany?
Yeah, I think so.
Will they accept her there?
No. No, but like she's not going to be able to get the property size that she needs in Boston.
That's why I'm saying, like, what is it? Is it,
She's not going to go to the North Shore. There's not enough square footage for her. She's going to be a South Shore girly
you think?
for sure. She's not going to go to Wellesley. Like she's gonna go to
She's not a
Hingham.
Newton. She's not a Newton girl.
No, I think she needs like a fence.
I feel like she's Marshfield all day long.
We're not saying where she's gonna fit in, but it's not like she's gonna fit in any of these places.
If Brittany were a place in the Boston region, where would she be?
I wonder
The Marshfield Fair.
why. I wonder why Boston. Like what?
Maybe it's just such a departure from. She's like, these people are jerks, but at least they're upfront about it.
Does she know about our winters here? Coming from California,
Maybe it's one of those things like where you make yourself eat your broccoli. She's making herself go to a cold place, so she has to keep her clothes on.
Brilliant. It's truly brilliant. I would just the paramedics showed up at my door illegally. I want to be like, isn't that their job? Like, actually, I think that is a legal thing. They were probably called for a wellness check on you. Were you like sobbing and having a hysterical fit because you sprained your ankle? Likely, which you're Britney Spears. That might be concerning depending on the noises that were emitting from you. So I can understand a wellness check, in which case, like, nope, actually, it was legally their job to make sure that you were fine.
Speaking of wellness, the last thing that I got was Justin Bieber had a crying selfie moment where he's not well. He did surface in Hawaii somewhere.
He posted a crying selfie.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Is he trying to fuel the rumors?
I don't know.
Decide. Here's it's like Megan Fox all over again. Decide what you want to be. Do you want to be private and alone and going through your shit by yourself? Then do that. Then don't post the crying selfie.
Right.
It's the same thing with Megan Fox. Do you want to be a sex icon or do you not want to be a sex icon? You decide.
I feel like everybody is going through this "what am I" phase. Like, do I like that?
Ugh.
No, I don't like that. It's like a no thank you taste, but it's worse because you've already done all of the things. So they just keep repeating the loop of, I'm going to throw myself out into the public. Oh, no, that's bad. I'm going to go do this.
Yeah,
oh,
I
no,
don't know
bad.
why. Maybe I don't know why I have no patience for it. I don't know why I have no patience for the Biebers, truthfully. And I really think that's just what it is. And I'm not saying I don't like his music.
I'm
like,
actually,
a girl will jam.
He
but
makes me sad. I don't like, and she just seems like a real big mean girl.
yeah,
I don't know you people.
We've talked about this. We don't really know. Yeah, it seems. I don't know if she's just
You just seem
like
like a mean girl.
recluse or like something about it.
Disingenuine.
Something about it
Fake.
feels like this is what I need to be out in public.
Mhm.
And then they have like a completely different situation going on
Right.
at home. And I think that's why there's so many rumors. If they
Probably.
were probably more open and vulnerable, it would probably be more relatable.
Well,
Like,
let's
actually tell us what's going on and how you're leaning into your faith to like get through it. Because like that ain't gonna be for me, but that's gonna resonate
for
with
someone,
a whole
a
different
lot
group
of people. For sure.
Rather than just like posting the crying selfie and then be like, but don't ask me. Like,
So the
what?
opposite of this would be a one Drew Barrymore, which there was a story that came out this week that actually made me laugh.
Am I allowed to bring up that I met her every time we bring her up?
Yes.
Okay. I met her. Okay, keep going.
How was it for you?
It was great. She was with a guy though. I kind of thought maybe it was a sibling or something. Cause I don't know. It
It's
did
probably
not occur to
her
me.
ex-husband, Will Koppelman, because that's the kind of relationship they have.
I don't know. Can you bring up a photo? I could tell you.
Sure. You'll remember what he looks like?
Yeah, because he was super, super nice. And they were with did she have kids?
Yeah, they have 2 kids.
So maybe that's who it was, because they were with a little girl. Not that photo. He was cleaner cut.
This is him with his, I think, new wife.
Oh, probably. Are there pictures of their kids?
No. Well,
That makes sense.
Here.
Oh my god, 100%.
That was them?
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Yeah. So that was their relationship, though.
Damn, I didn't know I met the whole goddamn
They
family.
met the fam dam.
It's cute. That makes sense because there was like kind of like a vibe between them.
Like
Not
they're
like-
very close. They're
Yeah.
still very good friends.
There was a vibe where I was like, you guys are a party, clearly.
I love
but I
that you
didn't-
said the brother, because that's kind of what she aimed at. She was like, this is the relationship that we kind of have.
So
It's not-
it felt like that. Like it
Yeah.
didn't feel like her husband, but it felt like somebody she was with consistently and that they had a long-standing relationship. So when
Yeah.
it came out that she was dating, I was like, oh, I guess that was not a romantic relationship, but they didn't really give me romantic relationship vibes in the moment anyway. But you just assume when guys, when they've got, I don't know.
I burst out laughing. There was a story that was released this week that said she left her sex list at Danny DeVito's house.
I want to know how. Was it a conversation they were having and she was like, actually, let me write this down?
Have you ever in your entire life written out your number or people on a list? Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Was it like before a doctor's appointment? Like,
No,
what?
no, not like that.
Not when I didn't mean to
And, like,
shame you.
admittedly, no, we can shame you. That admittedly is a very short list.
I just meant I don't think I've ever taken pen to paper to write.
No. Thumbs count. Like a phone note, maybe? Do I still have it?
But she actually wrote it on paper, like
Well,
made
this
a
is why-
list and left
So
it.
this is why I think she probably didn't have the phone note. Okay. She probably didn't have the phone note. And she was at a party at Danny DeVito's house, because you're Drew Barrymore.
I love the
and-
speculation on this
yes.
story.
100%. And somebody asked her, like, do you know how many people that you've slept with? And she was like, I don't really know. And it became a whole thing. And she was drinking.
Hold on.
So then she decided to be like, wait, because she's drunk and she can't count her fingers anymore. The whole thing, because she's at a party at Danny DeVito's house. And so she's like, let me
They were
write it
drinking
down.
mushroom tea because she doesn't drink anymore.
Oh, there you go. So that's whatever. She's doing whatever she wants to do. And although this was in the past, right? We said at Danny DeVito's house once. So it could have been when she was still drinking and partying. I'm just saying.
Sure.
This is the speculation. And she wrote it down. And then the party was over and she went home. And then Danny DeVito was like, wait, is that what this is? Is that what the girls were talking about in the corner last night? Like she went home to her own house and didn't think anything of it. And now it's like a funny tidbit she gets to tell on her talk show.
Danny DeVito must have the best stories ever because he's
Oh
just
my
like
God, 100%.
that funny, unassuming, good-natured.
And clearly hosts the kind of parties that are calm and welcoming enough where you feel comfortable enough to write down your sex list.
Audience
And if you're
out there.
drunk and that's like a random thing in your with your close friends, you're not thinking like this list is going to get out. You're just thinking it's like a scrap piece. It's probably like on a napkin. You know what I mean?
Have you ever written out your sex list? We're asking you.
You
I'm
haven't?
so curious. What sex list?
Yeah, that's fair. Married.
It's not even fun. Like, seriously, I'm like, okay, here
Again,
it is.
Mine's not.
It's here.
There's nothing. There's nothing surprising.
I don't need to write them out. I can call them.
That is also equally
Ugh,
terrifying,
right?
as those who have had
Ugh.
longer lists than ever.
Guys, guess what? Did you miss me? Gross. Sorry, it's just weird. No sex list for me. I just thought that was really funny how it ended up at Danny DeVito's. And I just really, I was having some fun games in my brain as to how that occurred. But thank you for speculating.
You're welcome. I mean, in my brain, that's how I see it
So
going. And also, I see you girlies who also have the notes on your phone. Don't leave me hanging. I know you. I see
speaking
you.
of notes on your phone, let's get into this global Taylor Swift breaking global streaming records in the first week. No one's surprised by this.
I missed them all. I was so busy in the album that I missed.
There was, like, the backlash.
Top Spotify streaming, top album. She like hit Billboard all 10.
The backlash of moms.
There was?
Taylor Swift is swearing.
Oh, because she's swearing now. I don't know. She's 35.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, just because her first albums when she was 17, 18, 19, 20, 25 were for your little sparkly 4-year-old does not mean that she needs to stay branded as the artist for your sparkly 4-year-old. I'm sorry.
Correct. And so I thank you for saying that.
What else do you put on the radio on the way to school? I just want to know. Somebody came out. Shoot, was it Cardi? No, it wasn't Cardi B.
I don't know.
Some female rapper, I'm sure you're yelling at the episode, came out and said, what are you guys doing bringing your kids to my concerts? I sing about, and then she used the word for male ejaculation.
Yeah.
And which is fair, but I'm just saying there's a line here. I feel like we don't need to put unnecessary pressure on Taylor Swift for dropping an F-bomb here and there. Cause like fair.
Right.
That's all.
It was a little Kim or it was somebody.
Yeah.
It
right.
Wasn't her. Might have been Cardi.
Could have been Cardi.
Actually, Cardi doesn't really care.
To my cons. No, I feel like she had kids up on stage her last.
I'm like, Cardi doesn't care. I feel as if it was a Lil Kim moment.
Now, don't bring kids to concert, and now I'm just getting advice articles from parenting magazines. That's not what I meant.
No, we suggest you bringing your kids to concerts.
Artist.
Just so we can clear this up and move on to Taylor Swift. I just want to know.
I'm not going to find out.
Now this is more for us than anything else.
I know. Google.
Why
you don't often fail me. Doja Cat.
Okay.
Perfect. We needed to go to the news tab. We got it.
Perfect.
I don't make music for children.
Doesn't mean they're not going to listen to it.
Also, I don't think this album from Taylor is for children.
It's definitely not.
No.
It's not for me. I came home in a mood.
I don't feel like I'm old enough to listen to this album sometimes. It is so complicated. And I am not, okay, we know I'm a Swiftie. I have plenty of critical things to say about this album.
Okay.
I'm not like a everybody must love it situation. That's not how I roll. But that being said, there is so much in it that I'm like 95% positive that there is stuff going over my head in every song that I don't understand. Like very complicated metaphors. Well, and I'm like, I get that that's a metaphor, but I don't really know what that means.
Maybe she doesn't either. Maybe that's a whole trickster.
There's definitely songs on here where I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like none of these lyrics make sense to me.
We want to know more, Taylor, and I'm sure she's got something dropping today, right?
That's a rumorville. Nobody really knows, but she's had so many 5s and 3s, hints, Easter eggs, as we call them in the Swiftie world, whatever, that like people think something's happening today.
Right.
There's a lot of theory that it's potentially a third drop of this album.
Okay.
Some of the evidence that points to that is she was wearing a Beatles t-shirt, coming in and out of the studio pretty consistently, recording for this album, and I guess they have a 3-part album. And they're one of the only bands who've ever done it.
That's a lot of songs.
It's already a lot of songs.
Right?
The logo has the T, P, and the D have the Roman numeral 3
I get
in
exhausted. I got a rabbit hole of like some of my immediate girlfriends last night where they're like figuring out the 5 and the 3, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is what you're doing with your time.
I will tell you, when I woke up at 6 o'clock, I was
Not
scouring all the Instagrams, like, did something drop? But no. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past her to be like, 4 o'clock, everybody left work early, right? Like, that's
so
it.
We think it's a video, or it could be a whole nother album.
There's also some theory that there's a video, but then there's also a lot going on with the Haim sisters. Keep posting stuff of them like running up to her. Then there's all these theories about everybody's wearing lilac, and there's a lot of purple. Purple being brought into this marketing thing for Torture Poets, and lilac is like the last it's a symbolization of like the last portion of mourning, the death of something. So there's like I don't know.
All right, well,
There's so much.
kick us
Like I
off of
said, there's
the
95% goes over my head.
kick us off of the conversation of this album that you made me try and listen to last night.
Okay, well, the first one you've heard because it's all over the radio. Fortnite.
Right. A lot of collaborations on this album.
Yes. Post Malone. This is also the first the single in the music video we got. What we were not expecting. I think everybody going into this album was expecting the entire thing to be about Joe Alwyn. And what we have learned about this album is that like Taylor Swift is the most relatable human being on the planet because it turns out the 6-year relationship that you had ended fine and everybody's moving on. But the one that fucked you up the most was the situationship you've had on and off for 10 years.
Yeah.
We knew this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody really knew how intertwined her and Maddie Healy really were and how extensive that relationship was until this album and until we heard so much. And we're finding out that more than half of this album is actually about him.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
gonna hurt us, Joe Alwyn, because he had to have known it.
I
He always seemed very bland anyway.
She's got a couple of songs on here about him. So Long London. That's always track 5. Track 5
really
is
like
always
that track.
it's a good track.
Yeah.
Track 5 is always like the big emotional vulnerable thing that she started accidentally doing and then she just kept doing it.
Yeah.
So that's that. But it also has shined a light back onto Midnights. And people pointed out that it's very likely that Midnights is actually a breakup album. So she's done 2 now breakup albums back to back. Where the Midnights was really more about Joe Alwyn, bejeweled, vigilante shit, kind of coming back from that. Like there's now some theories that maybe Joe had a relationship accidentally or like really close to the end of their relationship, or not like necessarily cheating accusations, but like something in there. And some of that was brought out. People kind of like diving back into Midnights being like, wait, if I look at this album from a different perspective, what does some of this mean? So it's completely interesting that we've just gone absolutely psycho.
Yeah. Well, that's the Tortured Poets. I think that's the perfect name for this. It's kind of a Debbie Downer album.
Okay. So this is my first critique. Overall, first of all, there's way too many songs. Like we could have edited all of this out. I think
I quit after Florence. I love that Florida song is actually really good.
It's really great, but it's very Florence and the Machine though. Like it feels like she pulled the vocal track from one of her own songs and plastered it into Florida and changed the lyrics to what Taylor Swift wanted. But like if you listen to it, it's almost so Florence and the Machine that it sounds less like Taylor. That particular
I kind of like that track just a little bit, just because I thought that Taylor she sounded very crisp. She didn't use as much reverb on her voice as she normally does. She didn't use the normal process she did with it. And it was kind of raw Taylor, which, I mean, if you're going to sing about Florida, that's exactly what Florida is about. I just kind of like the track.
So she came up on Apple Music, I think. She did like little blurbs about each of the songs. And about that one, she said, I think I was coming up with this idea of like, what happens when your life doesn't fit or your choices you've made catch up to you. She said she started imagining the perfect place to run off to and thought of a television show that she frequently watches. Is there a place you would go? I'm always watching like Dateline. People have these crimes that they commit. Where do they immediately skip town and go? It's always Florida.
It's always Florida.
So I just want to say like Weird News Wednesdays brought to you by Florida. We now have a track for it.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And I just like, again, like something else relatable. Like it's a reminder that like we all live in the same world and we're all watching the same news.
Yeah.
By far. Down Bad is coming up.
I kind of like that one also.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Crying at the gym. It's funny. Again, another one about Maddie Healy. Like they're all just about Maddie Healy.
Yeah.
And I'm just
my boy only breaks his favorite toys.
Yeah. Takes place from the perspective of the child's toy being somebody's favorite toy until they break you and then they don't want to play with you anymore, which is how a lot of us are in relationships when we are so valued by the person in the beginning and then all of a sudden they break us or they devalue us in our mind. We're clinging on to the no, you should have seen them the first time they saw me. They'll come back to that. They'll get back to that. So this is kind of a song about denial, really, so that you can live in this world where there's still hope for a toxic
it's a heavy album. Like, I'm not going to lie. I sat there and listened to like 10 tracks in a row and I was like, I'm sad.
It is.
I don't want to be in this place.
It's a completely sad album. And I'm finding a hard time. And I was talking to my girlfriend at work about it too. Like, it's good and it's Taylor Swift, but I think the two of us who are on a similar relationship timeline currently are having a hard time with the album and connecting to it and like really feeling it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because it's so not where we are in the place in our lives.
Mhm.
But if we put ourselves back into other situations, or maybe in the future, like we think this album will be a hit, we'll sink further.
Don't get me wrong. If you're going through a breakup or going through something right now, this will, I feel, you'll feel commiseration 100% on this album. Jump into it and feel sadder. I mean, isn't that what we do to ourselves?
Totally. She had two major producers, Jack Antonoff in the first half of the album, excuse me, and then Aaron Dresner in the second half. And you can really hear the similarities between the other albums that they have produced for her and this one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Evermore and folklore-esque theories in here, like sound similarities in here. Yeah, I mean, like, I think for me, this album is a lot of like same.
Yeah.
I think the tracks are very same. I think her vocals are very same.
You feel like you found a Travis nugget in here.
Oh, there's a couple of them, which I love. Actually, two of my favorite songs. One of them is So High School. I don't know what's on
The Alchemy.
Oh yeah, The Alchemy is another really good one. It's just completely Travis coded. Shirts off and all your friends lift you up over their heads. Beer sticking to the floor. Cheers chanting because they said there was no chance trying to be the greatest in the league. Where's the trophy? Here he comes, just running over to me. I mean, you're describing the Super Bowl,
right?
Like that's the reality.
He must be chuffed.
And I love the fact that it's like exactly what the internet kind of thought she was gonna write about it.
Right.
Like, he won the Super Bowl, then he ran over. Like, nope, this is the Taylor Swift version of that by far.
It's not deep, it just is. And I think that's good. Like, I mean, stop being that tortured soul.
Yeah, she's totally doing it in her own way. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is another big one coming out there where she's singing about being completely destroyed by like getting within her breakup and getting over the relationship, being in this depressed place, but also like rehearsing and putting on Eras tour, which is supposed to be like this pinnacle in her career. In the duality of that, she's got a song. I'm like jumping around now. Daddy, I Love Him. Super interesting. Seems to be a call out to her fan base when she came out with her relationship with Maddie Healy, and the internet basically like destroyed it.
Yeah.
And was like, I'm praying for you. This is the worst thing. We want to see you with somebody different. And so she has this track that comes out that's basically like, I can make decisions for myself.
Right.
I love him. You can get on board or not. It's not my problem. So this
turns out we were right and you were wrong.
So it's every once in a while she does kind of drop that veil.
Yeah.
And give us a perspective. Long Live is another one where she's kind of talking about her own experience. Clara Bow is about female artists kind of replacing each other.
Yeah.
She talks about Stevie Nicks in it, which is cool.
Yeah, one it girl replacing the next.
And another song about Kim K. Which to me, I'm over it. I think she should have skipped this on the album. And I say that because for me, the final close that chapter had to have been the Time article.
Yeah.
Like, you were Time Person of the Year. And then you went on and said, like, this was a big part of my life, but it's over and I'm moving on. Like, that could have been the finale of that door. I think to put a song out about it, like, we actually didn't need this.
Well, I mean, she already wrote it, I'm sure, at some point in there. So,
totally. But I mean, in terms of if I was somebody who like believes in I didn't need 31 songs and we could have edited some of them out.
Correct.
This is one of the ones I would have cut.
Yeah.
Like, I think for her, I understand the expression of her. I also like relate to a girl who like can't get over it. Like, that's fine. But
I wonder what the artist does at the chopping room floor. Like, you've created this baby and now like you want them all to go out.
Well, I think she's had so much success in putting out these vault tracks.
Yeah.
And people have been saying, we want the music. We want the stuff that you cut. We want to hear it. We want to hear the rest of the story, that she's giving us the rest of the story. But I'm somebody that's a little bit like, I actually didn't need those.
I didn't need all of it. Thanks.
It's
like when your kids tell you that I have two oversharing girls and they really always overshare. And I'm like, I didn't need all of that.
Yeah.
You just could have given me like a overview. That would have been great.
She does a lot more calling out in this album too. Cassandra is completely about Scooter Braun and how she separated from him and she tried to like tell people and they didn't really listen. And then suddenly he was getting dropped and we saw that by Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. Everybody started to drop him and come to the light. So that I think is interesting.
Maybe it's just her therapy. Like we're listening to her therapy.
It
so
is. We know that.
I feel like I have a hard time judging or saying something about somebody that's like just open. Like, this is all of my shit. Here you go. Have it. I know you wanted it.
For sure. But
now it's out. It's out there.
Yeah, but like
not in here.
Some of it I didn't need.
Well, I mean, that's kind of
in the song So High School, she's got a line that says, "Touch me while your friends play Grand Theft Auto." And I'm like, like
no, not relatable.
But like it is.
For me.
For me. But like it is. But like I feel like I also didn't need it.
It wasn't poetic enough for you.
It's just a weird song. The Bolter, I'm convinced.
There's a lot of that. The first track of the album is Fortnite. Like there's some holding on to that.
The last line of the last song in Midnight opens right back into the verse line.
Okay.
The first line of Fortnite, which somebody pointed out on Instagram and she liked it, the comment or whatever. I'm convinced that the song The Bolter is entirely inspired by, so she watches Grey's Anatomy. This is like a long unnecessary theory, but she's obsessed with Grey's Anatomy. She's got a cat named Meredith.
Yeah,
we know this. You know when the ferry boat crashes into the dock and everybody's dying and there's that like big cause, it's like in one of the first seasons and it's that like big kerfluffle on the docks and then the little girl jumps into the water or is in the water or is about to jump in the water and then Meredith goes and like pulls her back and is like, "You're not going to jump, you're fine." And then she ends up in the water and she almost drowns. I'm like convinced that's what the song's about.
Like, we're not even deep anymore. We're just now making songs about.
I think yes, like I think
Grey's Anatomy.
I think she like took that moment and was like, "I relate to it," and then wrote a song about it and called it The Bolter, about a little girl that like runs away or she runs away from the situation and she made it like a whole thing. But there's a whole portion of the song about like getting pulled out of the freezing cold water, and I was like, all I can think about is Grey's Anatomy. All I can think about is Grey's Anatomy.
Or Titanic.
Oh yeah, you can listen to this. Yeah. I swear you'll hear it.
All right.
My favorite song is Guilty as Sin. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. 31 tracks. You actually have a favorite on this.
31 tracks so far.
Oh God, there's more.
I just, from one girly to another, like, yeah, those situationships are the worst, bro. They are. I'm glad you're out of it. I'm glad you're moving on.
Why was Emma Stone credited on Florida?
We don't actually know, but she is there for some weird reason. We don't know.
Was it her concept?
No, we think she like just bangs on a drum or something in the back because it's like sound. It's like she's credited in something weird, like sound, things.
You know what this album needs? Scratching.
Completely. Like I bet you her cats are also on this album.
Give her Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Give her a track.
No, that's it. So I'm like kind of over here hoping that we don't get another 10 songs. I don't want them. I don't want vault tracks. Like I'm good. You lose me in the back half of this album. I don't need it. What I do want is Reputation Taylor's version. I'm sorry, I do.
All right.
I just want it. It's my favorite album. And I'm tired of feeling like I'm giving money to Scooter every time I listen to my favorite songs.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Like, give it to me. Give it to me.
This is what Tori wants. So give it to her.
Let's get one.
That's it.
Yeah, I can stop talking about it. I mean, I could keep going and I could keep talking.
No, it's truly tortured. It's heavy. Yeah. It's an album that I was like, okay, is there a dance track on here? Nope, it's just mostly sadness.
My only question is, if you are Travis Kelce, you are obviously fully aware that she's in a relationship for 6 years with Joe Alwyn. She gets out of that relationship. She has a little rebound, whatever. Then she's dating you. How do you feel about this many tracks about Maddie Healy, the situationship?
I feel like we are letting this all go now, and we are going to have a good, fun dance party album now.
Yeah.
This is what I feel like. I hope that this is like, it's out there, it's done. Hopefully she won't tour on this.
Travis's mom came out and said, I think it's her best work yet. And I was like, oh, so we're all over it. Okay. But like, I don't know, if I was the mom of the current boyfriend, do you think maybe I'd be like on the low key behind her back? Like,
I don't get it. I don't get it because I'm not coming from that background. I grew up with my husband.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming into, I've had this whole life before you and now we have a life together. So
Yeah.
it's a very different space for me. So I don't understand.
So it's
that.
funny because I'm obviously the opposite.
Yeah.
Like I've had so many different, and I've had like a perfect example of like an on again, off again situationship, whatever, rebound,
Right.
like kind of in and out person in my life. Right. So maybe that's why. But then when I think about it from a personal perspective, like, does boyfriend have to worry about that? Oh my God, no. Like,
Right.
in
Well,
no
exactly.
way.
Like it was
moved on,
just
door closed. Like
that was
could
it.
never.
That was part of my past. That's my yearbook.
Yeah.
Here's the yearbook, 31 songs of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna close that because
Yeah.
that was then. This
Yeah.
is now.
Totally.
We're doing these.
And there is some
things.
serendipity to all these situations too. Like I think back to the like one of the night that I reconnected with now boyfriend was when that situationship was supposed to be there, and
Yeah.
he blew me off.
Yeah.
And then I walked into this bar and he was there and we just reconnected as friends. But like it's funny how those things like all kind of coincide and relate. And I appreciate the fact that Taylor Swift can take and like romanticize some of those ideas and create these poems and this art about it, because I have the perspective where I see the romanticism of it, but I can't do anything about it.
Right.
Like I could never create something from it. Yeah. So I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll hit with some and not hit with others,
Yeah.
depending on your perspective. But yeah, I'm definitely ready for some party jams.
Yeah, I just felt
Moving
depressed
forward.
after I listened to that.
Yeah.
That was like really depressing homework.
It was completely.
So
Yeah.
I went on to, since I was doing Dead Poets, I went to the Dead Boy Detective Agency.
Sorry, one more thing. Did you see that she put the actors of the Dead Poet Society in the video?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. I just had to. Sorry, complete. I also love that movie. Sorry, keep going.
It was a good movie. No, so Content Rex is normally what
Oh,
we do
yeah.
on Fridays. So that I was like, you know what? Dead Boy Detective Agency.
Okay.
Very, very funny, silly, really good, new on Netflix. If you like sci-fi, fantasy, witches, warlocks, ghosty things, you'll very much
Ooh.
like this. It's just fun, it's fluffy.
Okay.
And it's, dead things. We're here
Perfect.
talking about dead things today on this episode.
I have a anti-content rec.
Okay.
So Netflix is coming out with their new Bridgerton season very soon. It's dropping in May.
Yeah.
A couple, like I think this week or next week. So I decided I was going to go and read the book that's associated with that. For what's her name?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Penelope. Sorry, I was like Philippa. No. Penelope. So I went back and read Penelope's story. The book is really good for like the first 40%, and then it's just like Cheeseville Tearball the last 60. So 10 out of 10. No. 8 out of 10. Do not have to read. Just jump into the Netflix season when it comes out.
I like
it's
it.
not worth it. I think the Netflix series will do a better job than the book was.
All right. Saving you some beach reads and whatever it is. We are like getting so close to the summer season. We're going to maintain a relationship with you. We just don't know what that looks like quite yet.
We should.
So
should
we'll
we?
be popping in when we can.
And let us know if we should be posting these content recs. You guys remember them, like, to the Instagram? Should we be creating a highlight? Like, do you guys want stories? Like, how do you want to remember some of this stuff? How do you want to get in touch with us? We need some feedback.
Yes, please.
Okay, that's all.
I know. We're going to try and get you episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We don't know. We're working on it.
There's a lot going on. I was sick.
I know.
And I'm still struggling. You can't tell.
She went
I'm
on
still struggling to
vacation.
breathe.
I think a lot of people are going through the crud this season.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're here today.
I'm good. Yeah, it was a vacation, and then I got
And we
picked up
got
something on
a
the plane.
boyfriend.
No, and I got boyfriend sick. Yeah, we need also drop comments on better nicknames for boyfriend, because we can't call him that.
Maybe we could call him by his name. No.
No,
Oh.
I don't think he'd like that. I don't think he's ready to be that associated with me. Like, he's good in the private of the home and like out in the bar with our friends, but like on a public platform, maybe he needs a little more time.
Get perky with us and follow us on all the socials at the First Shot Morning Show.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you Monday. Bye.
Bye. Oh my God. Poor
The
boyfriend.
First Shot Morning Show is produced by Lemonadio. When life gives you lemons, make radio. We encourage everyone to listen happier.com.